Have you already become distracted by what's happened with Trump, the latest twist in the American reality TV show? Twist after twist happens, keeping America on the edge of their seats, forgetting what happened last week as if it never happened at all. But the truth is that it's not something to be complacent about. This is nothing to just snack on your popcorn and watch and waiting in suspense to see what happens next. This is real and is happening right now. A dystopian America is unfolding before your eyes. It's here and now. Trump is a master of reality TV, and he knows what makes good television, having been on many reality shows such as wrestling shows and of course The Apprentice. He is there to make a spectacle, a show, but just like those reality shows and just like Hollywood in general, he is hollow and empty. During the 98-minute presidential debate, there was an interruption every single minute, and Trump was responsible for 71 of them.
I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting than he has.
That's all right, but he does plenty.
Well, less than, sir, less than,
plenty.
No, less than you have.
This has all become about spectacle. And what is spectacle? Spectacle is an obsession with appearance rather than what is true. It's all about image, a facade. Trump wants his appearance, his image, to come across as the savvy, dominant businessman, whereas Biden's image is antithetical to Trump's. Biden's image is based on not being Trump, and emphasizes that he is the opposite of what Trump is.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
Masks make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, everybody wore masks in social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
And they've also said the opposite. They've also said the opposite.
No serious person said the opposite.
And throughout these debates, all of it is about an emphasis on this image. And instead of actually talking about policy, they are reiterating and emphasizing these images and these appearances and creating this spectacle.
You have repeatedly criticized.
I have to answer his statement.
No, you have
his
repeatedly.
Statement.
You have repeatedly. No, you've been talking back and forth.
He made a statement.
I'm asking you.
I would love to end it.
Sir.
I would love to end it.
You know, if you want to switch seats.
We could very quickly.
We could do that.
Let people know you're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question
because you answer that
because
question?
the question is
the question is Justice, radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list?
Well, spectacle makes for good TV. So Americans sit complacently on their couch, eating their popcorn, watching the spectacle, waiting for the next twist to see what comes next. But it's time for the people to wake up and realize that they are being distracted. Because who is the real enemy? Who are the real rulers of the world? The rich elite billionaire class. And regardless of the outcome of this election, they will remain in power. Because they always remain in power. Because you don't have a say. You can't vote in or out who truly rules the world. They are beyond your grasp. They are forever in their ivory towers, and you can't touch them. You can't vote them out. They will remain in power, and they will continuously distract you with spectacle so you don't realize who's truly in power. They will give you an illusion of control, and that will keep you from realizing that you really have no control whatsoever, and they will always be in power until the people wake up and realize who is really pulling the strings of the world. And the fact is, we don't have to worry about a dystopian future because we live in a dystopian now. It's here. Wake up. Where have you been? Look around you. We are in the middle of a global pandemic. Brutality is everywhere. Racism and sexism runs rampant. The President of the United States refuses to condemn white supremacists.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland.
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do
specifically
that, but
do it?
Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing.
FBI director
This
said
is a left.
The dystopian future isn't future. The dystopian future is here. It's now. It's time to wake up and stop being distracted by spectacle. Stop being distracted by the American reality TV show and realize that the rich elite billionaire class rule this world and are running it into the ground. It's time to realize we can have an entirely new world. It doesn't have to be this way. We can create it into whatever we so will. But we have to not be distracted and realize what needs to be done. And that entails making sure that those who rule the world are not the greedy billionaires who have no interest in the collective whatsoever, but only are interested in making themselves richer and gaining more power and more control over the people. I am sick and tired of seeing all these conspiracy theories and all this shit. It's time to realize these are all just distractions to keep you from seeing the man behind the curtain, and those are the rich elite. And the world will never change until we do something about it. Why do we need to be debating whether people should have health care? Of course they should. Why do we need to be debating if people should have enough money and food to survive? Why are we debating if people should have access to education? This should be common sense. It should be obvious. But no, we live in a society that is so backwards, so distracted, so inverted that it can't tell up from down and wrong from right. It's time to stop arguing and debating these so-called radical ideas and realize these are not radical ideas. These are basic human rights. So stop being distracted by spectacle. Stop being distracted by conspiracy. Realize that a dark dystopian future is not on the horizon. It exists right now, but we can change it all if we come together and realize we have the power to create a new world, a better world, a brilliant future. The world is a very dark place right now. But for those who understand what I'm saying, you are the ray of light. And together we can make this place a brilliant beacon of freedom. Finally, for the first time, what is this? Let's make America great again. When has it ever been great? When has this world ever been great? Let's finally make the world a beautiful and better place. Now, it's important to understand that yes, these elections are coming up. It is still important to vote. And why is it still important to vote? Because when we have the option between Trump and Biden, we want to change the world regardless. But it will be easier for us to change the world under a capitalist oligarchy rather than an outright fascist state that would result under Trump. So, yes, they are both bad. And yes, ultimately, the rich elite will win no matter who is voted in. But we will win in the end. But it will be easier for us to make change and get our message out there and spread awareness in a country that isn't run by a borderline fascist. Philosopher Michael Faust said, "Most of us are slaves. No matter how much we loathe and reject that conclusion, it's true. If you want to know if you are a slave, consider these criteria. Every day you go and do a job you don't like. It gives you no creative thrill, and you derive no feeling of self-worth. You are under someone else's control. Your employer decides how you spend your time, not you. Your employer demands obedience, application, and proper conduct from you. And if you don't comply, you will be fired. Your employer, on the other hand, is wealthy, loves what he does, gets immense status and prestige from it, is admired and envied. His lifestyle is breathtaking. He has 3 magnificent homes, a 300-foot yacht, a stable of Ferrari cars. He controls his life. So then, which are you, master or slave? We allow the masters to rule us. In exchange for a comfortable living, we sign away our own lives. So what about you? Are you sick of the spectacle? Are you sick of the bullshit? Are you sick of the fakery? Are you ready to build something new, something true, something meaningful, something real? Are you ready to actually start living life? We are here to create a new humanity and a new earth, and to raise the consciousness of the world so we can begin to create a better experience and a better existence for us all. Help us wake up the world, help us share this information, get it out there, let people know. If you enjoy my work and what we're doing, subscribe right now and stay updated with what we're about. A big shout out to all my supporters on Patreon. They allow me to continue what I do. Consider supporting if you enjoy my work. My name is Morgue, and I am Hyperion. Ad Astra, to the stars.